Hey, good morning. Good morning. Sorry, I had a few technical difficulties this morning. I couldn't go live on my phone. I couldn't go live um, via my Restream setup. Anyway, I am here. Um, Look, I want to talk to you today about this thing that I believe is the missing piece in anyone's transformation. Um, I worked for Joe Dispenza for a while. I was doing the meditations, I was setting intentions, I was saying affirmations, I was visualizing, and yeah, I had some amazing things happen. I started bumping shoulders with some really well-known people, well-known thought leaders. I was traveling the world. I was having amazing experiences. But I didn't heal. I didn't heal my body. I didn't heal my triggers. The behind the scenes was fairly uh, toxic in terms of toxic environment. Um, and and that's not to say that they were toxic people, right? It's just that when you don't actually do what I'm going to share with you today, it's sort of like sweeping uh our challenges and our problems and everything under the rug and hoping that the other stuff that we're creating is enough to sort of counteract it. And it's not. Okay. You can bring the information, you can bring the behaviors that you don't want. You can bring the parts of you that you don't want to your conscious mind and really be aware. We call it metacognition in neuroscience. You can become really, really aware of these parts of you and tell yourself that you're never going to be this ever again. But the truth is that you'll never get rid of anything. You will never get rid of anything that you don't like about yourself. We have the entire universe within us. And so owning it is the way you transform it. So I want to talk about narcissism actually because it's such a prolific thing at the moment. I just spoke to someone again yesterday and they're like, oh, my ex was a narcissist. And, I pretty much hear it every day. Someone is a narcissist. Now, that's a label. And so what we want to do is, in order to stop attracting the narcissist, we want to break down exactly what it is that they're doing. Now, what do? They lie, they manipulate, and they lie, they manipulate, and they're selfish. Let's just choose those three things. There is not a person on the planet that doesn't lie. There is not a person on the planet that does not manipulate. And there is not a person on the planet that is not selfish. And the challenge is, or the problem is, that we look at these things, we're triggered because we haven't owned where we're the liar, we're the manipulator, and we're the selfish person. And so anytime someone comes and displays these attributes to you, you get triggered and you get pissed off and you're like, that person's a narcissist. I need to remove them from my life. They're toxic. Now, no one is toxic. However, like I was sort of saying a second ago, if you do have a lot of people in one space that aren't doing this deep transformational work, it's going to become a toxic environment because there's going to be blame thrown everywhere, talking behind people's backs everywhere, really catty, bitchy kind of stuff going everywhere. And so in my work, the reason why it's so powerful and the reason why people are getting such incredible results in my alchemy membership community is because we learn the rules of the game. We understand that we actually are all one and how we're connected. Then we go in and we start to own the reflection that we're seeing in our mirror. These people are just our mirrors, showing us the parts of ourselves that we've not yet loved. And I get it, until we have a strategy of how to actually rectify this situation, you know, I get why people want to set boundaries. I get why people want to push people away. I get why people want to cut people out of their lives. However, we're missing it. We're really missing the beauty and the divinity in this universe. There are no mistakes. There are no mistakes. And so if we instead learn to understand the feedback that we're getting from these people and learn to understand the feedback that we're getting from our reality, then we can go in with a different tactic. We can own where we're the liar. We can own where we're the selfish one. We can own where we're the manipulator. And then those attributes no longer control us. That's the difference. That's how you transform it. Not by trying to get rid of these parts, because it's impossible, literally. We have the entire universe within us. But owning them is when they start to transform, and they no longer need to come out and act in certain ways that we have no control over. Carl Jung was the king of shadow work. He coined the term, and he was a famous Swiss psychiatrist. And basically what he said was, until you make the unconscious, what you're not aware of, the patterns, the programs that we have stored that we don't even know are there, until you make the unconscious conscious, bring it into our awareness, become aware, metacognition, become aware, self-aware, these parts will direct our life, so they'll control us, and we'll just call it fate, because we don't know what we don't know. And we don't know that these parts are there. We don't know that these parts are controlling us. So once you start to take back these parts, you really start to see your life, people around you in a different way. And instead of pretending to be love and light, you actually do become love and light. Your love for the other person expands tenfold. Your love for yourself expands tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold, huge. And you really get to see that, in fact, we are one. We actually are one. And that this person in front of me, is a direct reflection of me. Now, that's why a lot of these other processes, techniques, modalities, theories don't work, because you're not getting to the root of your pattern. You're not getting to the root of your program. So it takes a bit of wiggling sometimes, but once you get that information, your entire world is going to change. Now, we haven't even gotten into the deep work in my alchemy community yet. I've simply been teaching for the last, I think it's just gone 3 months. I've been teaching people the rules of the game, how this universe works. We've looked at our emotions and how they work and what they are as feedback mechanisms. We've looked at, our life purpose and what we're actually here for, what we're meant to be doing on this planet. And those 3 things have been sufficient to really get to start to transform how my members see things. Then I've gone through and we've talked about the basics of how shadow work works, this kind of information. And so people are starting to have massive shifts, pain after 6 years gone, insights into relationships, insights into purpose, from incredibly depressed and flat and crying in the sessions to laughter and bubbly and a newfound zest for life, from stress and confusion to an understanding and a deep, profound sense of what this work is and how much is available through this work. So And you might be sitting on the other side of this video thinking, I'm not a narcissist. I don't do this. I don't do that. Well, tell me, where in your life do you lie? Everyone does. Where in your life do you manipulate? I guarantee if you've got children, if you've got a partner, you will have manipulated them at some point to get them to do what you want them to do. There's nothing wrong with that. But the moment we label this wrong, the moment we deny that we have that within us. So, and you might say, oh, well, they're white lies. Okay, but they're still lies, right? So we want to start to own these parts of ourselves. Where are you selfish? Everyone is selfish. Everyone is working to get what they want in life. Now, that's not to say that you won't do things that look like charity, that look altruistic, but even in the altruism, even in the charity, there is something that you're getting out of it. We don't do anything without a perception that it's going to benefit us more than it's going to hinder us. And so if this is confronting, it's beautiful, right? Because that means that it's landing for you somewhere. You might not just be ready to admit it yet. Okay. So the truth hurts. And so as we start to do this work and get into the deep, owning these traits, we really transform. We transform into these beings that are more grateful for life. We're more in love with life. We're more in alignment with the universe. And as we transcend each of these parts, so we own and love the liar. We own and love the selfish. We own and love the manipulator. And we integrate these parts back into ourselves. We transcend our current level of reality and what's available to us. And we become this higher frequency, this more light-filled version of us that has everything that we want in life. So don't get me wrong, I love meditation. I love visualization. I got so pumped last night, my visualization, that I actually couldn't sleep. These things are amazing tools, right? They are absolutely essential for us as well. However, you've got to do it within the confines of the cosmic law framework. You cannot break the rules of the game of life. And meditating is not enough to really own these parts of you. Now, anyone that hasn't done this work and meditates a lot, you'll be fine on the mat. You'll be fine in meditation. You'll be fine hosting a seminar. But the moment someone pisses you off, you'll explode. You'll burst with either an anger or a frustration, and you'll bleed on people that didn't cut you, basically, because you have no control over that program, right? It's whatever you don't own owns you. It runs you. And we're not aware. We're not aware of it. So you'll probably have had experiences where you'll say something or you'll do something. You're like, I didn't even know why I did that. I didn't even know why I said that, right? That's the shadow coming out to play. That's the shadow wanting to be owned and loved. So I'm hoping this is useful to you. The other way we can sort of start to recognize, apart from being triggered by people, right? Everyone's coming to heal us. Everyone's coming to be healed. So if you're triggered by someone, it's your stuff to own. Now, the other way we can begin to recognize the shadow and what's subconscious for us is, what's the advice that you're giving people? Okay, what's coming up that you're suggesting people do? What are you telling people You know, where are you sharing your advice, tips, wisdom? What are you saying to people? Because if you're saying, you know, you really need to get your finances under control, you really, like, if you want to be wealthy, you really need to get your finances under control. That's a message for you. That's also a message for you. Okay. And so we can start to become metacognizant, really, really aware of what we're saying to people, how we're triggered by people, the emotions that we feel, the reality that we're creating. And as we become more aware, we start to see the patterns, the programs that are controlling us, that are running our life. And we've been previously aware of that. So thank you for watching. I really, really appreciate you being here. I'm holding a free masterclass. It's going to be at least once a month now. The next one is coming up next Wednesday, 8 a.m. Sydney, Australia time, 8 a.m. I'd love if you can join me. I'll pop the details with this post. And I'm really going to go into this a little bit deeper to show you why what you're doing isn't working, what you need to do instead, how to truly heal your life for good, and how to create a life that you really, really love. I'm Jill Ogle. If I haven't met you, I really appreciate you watching. I go live every Monday morning at 8 a.m., except for when I have technical difficulties. And so I hope you can join me for a little bit of intention setting, a little bit of inspiration for the week each Monday. And I'd love to know as well, comment below, what's your intention for the week? I'll talk to you again soon.